Why is now the right time for this fight?
You know, everybody is asking for the fight. My Nino Turkialashi won it, so that's why we are here.
For the fight of the century. The fight is September between the two great fighters in our generation, Canelo Alvarez and Crawford.
Talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost.
It's official. The biggest crossover clash in years is finally upon us. Terence "Bud" Crawford versus Saul Canelo Alvarez.
What do you want next? It seems like that's going to be the fight. Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez, the biggest fight in boxing.
Well, Canelo's the face of boxing. He's the best fighter for Terence Crawford out there. He's the biggest fight for Terence Crawford out there. So that's why Terence Crawford want to take the opportunity to share a ring with another great.
How do you beat him?
You'll see.
Two fighters at the peak of their respective legacies. Two contrasting styles, two different sizes, and one question that has split the boxing world: can the smaller surgical tactician dethrone the super middleweight king?
I feel like Bud could beat him easy.
How though? What are your thoughts on Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez? Terence going up another 2 weight classes. Just got to 54. He's skipping 60, going straight to 68, talking about what's going on.
I feel like once he beat Canelo, that will be like one of the greatest resumes in boxing ever, just because of the fact that he's going up 2 divisions just to fight this guy, and this guy's bigger than him. And not only did you just crush Errol Spence, but you go out there and the way that he beats Canelo too. If he go out there and just dominate and make it an easy fight, honestly, I think that that's going to be like one of the best resumes I ever seen.
This isn't a fantasy matchup anymore. It's real. The face-off is done. The date is locked. September 12th, Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas. Crawford is moving up 3 weight classes to face Canelo at 168 pounds, and the boxing community is absolutely on fire with takes, praise, criticism, and predictions.
Talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. You know, so let's not do that, Canelo.
Let's break down every detail: the hype, the history, the skepticism, and the stakes. Canelo's recent unanimous decision win over William Skull was anything but vintage. The Mexican superstar, now a veteran of over 60 fights, looked flat, tentative, and at times pedestrian. Analysts and fans alike noted the missing sharpness, fewer combinations, slower feet, predictable bodywork. Even Canelo's own critics were brutal.
I feel I got the speed over Canelo. I got the reach over him. He might got the size, the power. I got the better skills, boxing skills.
Would it be more of a cat and mouse? The reality is Canelo does put people out, from Kirkland to Amir Khan to just...
Don't do
obviously,
I'm just saying, man.
No, but he's not. Kovalev.
Kovalev was older. He does. Billy Joe. Don't get me wrong. He does have a lot of power, but all those guys that you name is not as skillful as me. I'm sorry.
Dmitry Bivol's coach, Dmitry Kirillov, called the performance uninspired, saying Canelo exploded with 1 or 2 punches and they weren't even accurate. He added that Alvarez is becoming less enthusiastic and no longer throws with urgency. This version of Canelo isn't the guy who dismantled Callum Smith or finished Sergey Kovalev. The timing's a little off. The pop seems reduced, and yet he's still the unified super middleweight champion. He's still dangerous. Canelo, of course, brushed off the criticism. In his post-fight interview, he pivoted the conversation quickly to Crawford.
To ask about Terence Crawford. Do you think it'll add to your legacy, the fight with Crawford?
Yeah, he's a really good fighter. 2 times undisputed champion. He accomplished so much, so can add a lot to my career.
I want to give the fans the fight of the century, he said confidently. For Crawford, this is legacy, and having dominated 135, 140, and 147 and recently annihilated Errol Spence Jr. He's now eyeing one of the boldest leaps in boxing history. A jump from welterweight to super middleweight. That's 21 pounds up, facing a man who rehydrates closer to 190 on fight night. But Crawford doesn't care. In interviews, he's repeated one theme: "I'm built for this." No catch weight. No rehydration clause. Just a straight up, no excuses battle at Canelo's natural weight.
I've been beating up big dudes all my
Because they underestimate your bud.
It's just, even if they didn't, I'm gonna beat you up. You know, I can fight.
Right.
You know, so if you watch, like, all these dudes bigger than me.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't care, but I'm gonna find a way to win, no matter what.
In September, are you gonna pull this? I shook up the world. I told you. I told you. I told you. I told you.
People are underestimating what I've done, Crawford told Shannon Sharp on Club Shay Shay. I've been beating bigger guys my whole life. They think Canelo is just a puncher, and they don't respect his skills. But I do, and I'm going to beat him anyway. This fight wasn't ordered by sanctioning bodies. It wasn't built from a personal grudge. It wasn't begged for by the fans like Spence versus Crawford or Fury versus Usyk. So why is it happening? With the backing of Saudi money and global networks like DAZN, both fighters are expected to earn 9 figures. $100 million for Crawford, $150 million for Canelo.
Because I'm looking at, say, Canelo's guaranteed 150, you guaranteed 100 million. Damn, bud. It's too late for me to train? I mean, that's that number. That sounds like a number that you can get down with.
Man, I don't know, man.
But I don't know, bud. 150 mil. You still gonna want to go in there and train? You still gonna want to go do another fight?
They might come with 250.
For context, that's more than most entire fight cards gross annually. This is generational wealth and a legacy play for both. Some fans see it as a money grab, others see it as daring ambition. But there's no doubt the stakes are enormous. Crawford could become the first man in the 4-belt era to be undisputed in 3 different weight classes. Canelo could stamp out yet another challenger to his throne. On paper, Canelo has every physical advantage. Size, a true 168-pound fighter who rehydrates close to 190. Strength, his left hook to the body has ended careers. Durability, he's never been knocked out and took GGG's best shots twice. But Crawford's advantages are just as real. His ring IQ is arguably the smartest fighter in the game.
Crawford, Canelo, who you got? Crawford, Canelo? I still say Canelo.
I got Canelo too.
I still say Canelo. Ring IQ, I believe that Crawford has a bit more.
Yeah.
However, it's just the size difference. I think that where Crawford is lacking is that he should test the waters even with somebody at that weight class before facing Canelo. But hey, they say he's a dog. He's got shot in the head and drove to the hospital, so maybe that's just his mentality.
His adaptability can switch styles mid-fight, switch stances at will, and lastly, his composure never flustered, even against elite pressure fighters. And then there's the X-factor speed.
Crawford, with that domination, with that power, with that IQ, with that skill set, gonna be a problem for anyone.
Fighters like Amir Khan and Billy Joe Saunders troubled Canelo with movement before getting stopped. Crawford can execute without getting caught, and that's a massive if he could outbox Canelo to a decision. This fight has divided the boxing world like few others. Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. It's an uneven fight. Crawford's a great fighter, but Canelo will knock him out.
There's no Triple G on Bud's resume. There's no Trout on Bud's resume. There's no Daniel Jacobs on Bud's resume. Canelo is the one that's fought the elite level opposition. It's Canelo that fought Laura. There is no Laura on Bud's resume. There is no Laura on Bud's resume. Bud has never faced a multiple division champ.
Oscar De La Hoya. If Crawford wins, he's the greatest fighter ever. But it's a tough task. Canelo's going to be 200 pounds in that ring.
Now, if Crawford can do it, Jesus Lord, I mean, give this man, I mean, the title of being the greatest ever, you know? And that's probably the motivation for Crawford. That's probably the motivation for his camp, for his, you know, for his corner, for his trainer, is that, look, if you beat Canelo, you can go down as one of the historical best fighters ever on the planet. I mean, that's enough motivation for any fighter.
Errol Spence Jr. If anyone can pull it off, it's Bud. I'm going for him.
I'll be going for Bud. You know, if he fight Canelo, I'll be going for him. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna win or lose, but I definitely be on Crawford. I think if anybody can pull it off, he can pull it off.
Yeah. But
He's chasing greatness, so why not? Canelo came up to 175 and all that, and fought Kovalev and fought the other guy too. So I mean, if he can do it, he started at 147. So I mean, if he's doing it, why can't Crawford do it?
Alexander Usyk Crawford is crazy. He works on both sides, feels distance. It's 50-50, but he can win. Even fighters like Virgil Ortiz Jr. and Jaron Boots Ennis have weighed in.
Over Canelo. Well, Terence win. But listen, Terence, it's different man. Terence work in две стойка.
Two sides.
Two sides.
Right.
And
a
switch
hitter.
Yes.
He's a switch hitter.
Yes. Right and left. But it's very smart man. It's very, very, very smart. But feel distance.
Ortiz thinks Crawford is simply too small. Ennis believes the jump is too sudden. No tune-up at 160 or 168? That's a problem. But everyone agrees Crawford's skill is real. The question is whether it can overcome physics.
Do you still want that matchup with a Terence Crawford? I don't know if he's going to come back down after Canelo Alvarez, but what about Book Crawford? Because every time he fights somebody, you beat the Mean Machine better, you beat Masvidal better. It's like you cleaning up his work. Would you fight a Terence Crawford?
I would, and I would like to. I did hear that he's gonna retire after Canelo, which it's fair. He's been a two-time undisputed champion.
One major criticism of this fight is that it bypasses the bout fans actually wanted: Canelo versus David Benavidez. Benavidez, undefeated and explosive, has earned his shot. He's younger, naturally bigger, and stylistically dangerous. For years, fans have accused Canelo of ducking.
Canelo running from Benavidez. What is that? I mean, imagine if I ever ran from anybody. Like, did I run from somebody in my career? No. Did Chavez run from somebody in his career? No. Chavez was 87-0. Imagine that. So to me, that's the all-time greatest fighter.
And this Crawford fight, to many, feels like another detour. Canelo has dismissed that narrative. I fought everyone, he said. Who did I run from? But the noise won't go away. And if Crawford wins or even gives a competitive fight, it could pressure the Canelo-Benavidez showdown into reality. This is a super fight, but one with a strange atmosphere. Yes, the stakes are massive. Yes, the money is historic. But there's a subtle undertone of finality to this event. For both men, this might be the last mega fight.
Only made sense to fight Skull so that the sole reason Crawford was moving up was to become three-time undisputed. That puts a lot more relevance on the fight between Crawford and Canelo, right? It makes it more about legacy outside of him jumping up 2 weight classes. So
Canelo is nearing the end of a long, punishing career. Crawford, who's achieved everything, has hinted at retirement soon. So this could be the final page in 2 legendary careers or the beginning of a new chapter for one. Terence Crawford doesn't need a knockout to win this fight. In fact, he likely won't get one. Canelo's chin is elite. His defense, while slower than before, is still tight. Instead, Crawford will need to accumulate points rounds won through sharp jabs, slick footwork, and timely counters. He'll need to neutralize Canelo's body attack, avoid the ropes, and stay disciplined for all 12 rounds. Canelo, on the other hand, just needs one moment. A left to the ribs, an uppercut in the pocket. He'll be the heavier, stronger fighter by far, and one clean shot could end Crawford's night. Some fans worry this will be a chess match, not a war. And in truth, it probably will be. Both men are methodical. But for hardcore fans, that's still gold.
They just want to last the distance.
That's a mediocre mind. That's a mediocre mind because they come just to survive, to go to the 12th round. That's a mediocre mind. You need to put a good fight there and put great show. You know what I mean?
Do you think Crawford will employ the same tactics to try and box?
I hope not. I hope not because the people deserve a good fight.
What do you make of the Crawford fight next?
Huh?
How excited are you for the Crawford fight?
I'm excited. I'm gonna enjoy this.
This fight isn't about violence. It's about genius. 2 of the best minds in boxing. One undersized assassin, one aging bull. both with everything to gain and everything to lose. The odds are close. Most sports books have Canelo as a slight favorite, with Crawford coming in just behind. That's due to the size factor, not skill. If this fight were at 160 or even 154, the odds might be reversed. But at 168, that's Canelo's backyard. If Crawford can avoid prolonged exchanges, keep the fight in the center of the ring, and rack up clean, visible shots, a 7-5 decision isn't out of the question. But it requires near flawless execution and generous judging.
Let me tell you what I think should be gone. The notion that Terence Bud Crawford should move up 3 weight classes, 21 pounds, to fight Canelo Alvarez. He's entirely too small.
Canelo's best chance is a mid to late stoppage. If he wears Crawford down with body shots and traps him along the ropes, he could land a fight ending especially around rounds 8 to 10. If Crawford proves too slick to get hurt, but not busy enough to clearly win rounds, we could see Canelo edge it in a tight points victory, especially in Vegas, where judging often favors aggression. The outcome of Canelo versus Crawford could reshape boxing's power structure, with key factors including a potential 20-plus pound weight rehydration advantage for Canelo, a ring size that could either favor Canelo's pressure or Crawford's movement, and judges whose scoring criteria may prove decisive if it goes the distance. If Crawford wins, he becomes an undisputed, undefeated, all-time great who dethroned Canelo in his own division.
Listen, I told my boy Jazz, I already caught the biggest fish in Texas. About to get out here and get it in. Y'all see the water. I know who the #1 fisherman is. Even big fish get caught.
While a Canelo victory would silence critics, stop Crawford's momentum, and reestablish him as the face of boxing. Either way, this will affect the welterweight, middleweight, and super middleweight divisions for years. It could delay or force matchups with names like Jermall Charlo, David Benavidez, Jaron Boots Ennis, and even a comeback-minded Errol Spence Jr.